What's up, people? Today we are talking everything pre-production and going over all of the things that you'll need to know before you say action. Pre-production is a very important part of filmmaking and it is the foundation that you build all of your cool shots and fancy transitions on top of. So the more solid and prepared you can be in building that foundation, generally the better the end product is. Also, the more thorough you are with your pre-production, the better you can communicate with your team, your client, and all be on the same page and have the same North Star moving forward. Let's get into it. So today I've made the ultimate pre-production list based on everything I've learned through my experience working on set, in film school, and making a ton of mistakes along the way. Going over this list before your next shoot will hopefully help you not make those same mistakes and set you up for success. Talking success. Step number one is conceptualizing the project. So just the general idea, the seed that everything is gonna go from. What are you shooting? How are you shooting it? What's the style? Are you shooting a documentary, a commercial, a short film? Is it going to be a host-driven show, a interview-based concept? Is there gonna be voiceover, no voiceover? Is there gonna just be visuals and text to explain what's going on in the commercial? Just the general idea and getting on the same page with your client and your team so you guys have the same goal moving forward. Number two is creative writing or script finalizing. So no matter what project that you're working on, you're going to need to do some form of creative writing. If you're working on a short film, you'll have to finalize the script, writing down every word and every action that's said and done in that project. If you're working on a commercial, depending on the style, you'll either need to write the voiceover, scripted lines for actors, or possibly just the text for graphics. Even unscripted interview-based content like documentaries or some commercials, you'll still have to do some creative writing. That's most of the projects that I work on, and I still generally will write out a loose story arc, breaking down a loose story structure as well as question lists for the interviews. So number three is lists, boards, and samples, and these are all tools to help communicate clearly with your team and with your client. To go into further detail on the look and style of your project, this includes shot lists, mood boards, which are a sample of visuals and shots from other films possibly, that look or kind of create the look and feel of what you want to try to create. During the pitching process, you might need video samples of the work you've done or work that other people have done that is the kind of style you're going for this project. Mood boards are a series of visuals that you can show your client to really show them the tone, the style, and the look that you're going for. Shot lists are really important because they can give you a roadmap for what you're going to do on the actual day of shooting and something to fall back on if you ever get stuck. Number four is scheduling, and scheduling can be one of the most difficult and time-consuming parts of pre-production. Making sure all the talent, crew, rental equipment, and everything lines up on the same date can be difficult, but it is a very important step. I try to make daily shoot schedules as well as long-term full project schedules. Planning which days you're gonna shoot which scenes, which angles, interviews on this day, B-roll on this day, going over all of that beforehand so that every day you have a step-by-step plan on what you're shooting makes your shoot day flow much better. I always try to give a rough estimate about how long each project will take, breaking down the pre-production process, the days that we're actually shooting, and then how long post-production will take, and try to give a full finished product by the end date. Number five is to assemble the team. So now you need to know how many camera operators you need, producers, audio people, lighting people, any kind of extra hands you need on set, whether that's 50 people or 5 people or you just running and gunning by yourself. You need to know the size of your crew so that you can get the job done. It's always good to keep a list of people that are good at what they do and that you enjoy working with so that you have a team to reach out to in the future. Number six is location scouting. So this is one that I always wish I make more time for. I don't always get to it, but I wish I do, because especially if you're shooting interviews for documentaries, it is one of the most time-consuming parts on set when you go into a room and trying to pick the angle and find where the light is best and where the outlets are and the blocking and spacing of the cameras and the subject, and all that just takes up time when you're setting up. So if you have the opportunity to go see the room, see the landscape, see the setting that you're gonna be shooting in a few days before you actually start shooting, that saves you a ton of time on set, and it's something that I wish I could do more of. Number seven, and that's my personal favorite, is gear preparations. You need to know what kind of gear you need, how it operates, and if you need any rental gear for your shoots. Generally, if you're traveling for your shoot, it is hard to bring cases and cases of equipment with you, so you'll need to find good rental houses in the locations where your shoot will be. Without a doubt, you want to charge all your batteries and format your memory card so everything is good to go on the day of shooting. A good rule of thumb is to test out all of the gear that you're going to be operating a few days before you actually shoot with it, so that if anything goes wrong, like a light bulb's out in your light, the audio mic is giving feedback, the camera sensor has dust on it, you know before you're on set, and you can fix those problems with enough time to be stress-free on shoot day. I have skipped this step more times than I wish to admit, and it has caused some serious stress and anxiety on the day of. So don't do it, okay? Number 8 is food and bathrooms. So if you're going to be responsible for a crew and talent on your set, and you're gonna be on set for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, who knows how long, food and bathrooms, think about it. Think about it. Number 9, and this is a tricky one for a lot of creators, filmmakers, videographers, is budgeting your project. So now that you have the crew, your gear, this is loud in the microphone. So now that you have your crew, your gear, you're all scheduled, you can price out the budget of your project, and there's several different ways people go about doing this. The 3 most popular ways that people charge for their shoots are day rates, flat rates, and retainers. Day rate is charging by how much your time is worth per day that you're working on the project, including your crew, your equipment, for pre-production, post-production, and pricing it out per day. The flat rate is pricing out all of the elements that go into your project and giving them one lump sum payment for the finished product. The third way people charge for their projects is with a monthly retainer. So you are going to produce a number of media assets for the client each month, and they're going to give you X amount of dollars to complete those projects.
$1,000 a year plus retainer.
One thing to think about is when you're budgeting for projects, make sure you're thinking of the crew that's going to be with you and for travel days and travel expenses. Number 10 is legal documents. So this is especially for bigger productions, but even smaller productions will have to think about talent releases, location/film permits, and even insurance for your gear. So this is something you just want to do a little research about before your shoot, depending on what you're shooting on, and even consult with a lawyer if you need to. Number 11 is software. So just using the right software to be able to condense all of your lists, mood boards, scripts, everything that we just talked about, be able to put it in one location. There's some great softwares like Milanote and Notion. I personally use Notion, but it's not sponsored because this channel doesn't have. But all of these softwares just help you keep everything really organized, communicate clearly with your team and your clients, and it's better than having it spread around random notes and notebooks and Google Docs and Google Excel and Word and all over the place. It's nice to have it all nicely organized in one location. And that brings us to number 12. That brings us to number 12, which is listening to music, watching films, and just immersing yourself in whatever world your project takes place in. This is where the real creative thinking happens in pre-production, and this is where I get a lot of inspiration and get in the zone before your shoot day. That's it for the ultimate pre-production list. And again, the main reason to do all of this is to have it all laid out in front of you. Your shot lists, questions, scripts, ideas, all of that is written down and you have in your back pocket, so that you can be present and open to be creative on set. All right, I hope this list helps as a general guide to help prepare you for your next project. Go make something awesome. I'll see you in the next one.